So since the growth of our squash is already surpassing the limit of the borders, like actually this is the summit of the post that we have and even the rope that we have, yet the squash is already showing its supremacy. You can see even the hook is having its movement towards the different side of it, and it is looking for a post, wooden post to coil upon. Another squash that is going to show its supremacy is this one. It is having like a growth hand in hand with this one, with the supreme one. And from the base of it, you will be able to observe the thickening of the leaves. And at the same time, there are other young vines that is forcefully pushing itself towards the hook, or even towards a rope like this, so that they can also grow, they can also climb, similar with this one. This one we actually manually coil it here because at times some of the squash, just because of the pull of gravity, that they seem to be lost and they seem to be just following the pull of the gravity towards the sunlight, so we need to manually assist them. And not only this section is actually experiencing growth and development, even here clearly you can observe that what we have been doing in the past few days have been translated into growth and development. Even some are actually struggling, but majority of our squash have gained its momentum already, and they are saying to us, or sensing a message to us, that they are replicating and they are responding positively to our care. So since it's already more than 30 days, more than a month that we have planted, or since we have planted this squash, so one thing that we are expecting is that they are going to show to us flowers, and from the time on we will be able to deduce that it is time for them to give us fruits, because at the same time last year it was already the time that we have pollinated. So only this year that we have been delayed in our planting because of the scarcity of the water and the restriction to use it. But still we insist and we persist with our will and determination. We were able to do that. So another one that is showing, or is ready to show its supremacy, is this one. You can observe that the hook is already coiling to different angles in here and even here, and it is bringing the young shoot towards the summit of it. So this is the summit of it, and that is where we're going to establish another line of rope so that we will be able to support this as they reach the summit. So they're going to flatten, so we are going to stop the growth at the summit to flatten it, so that it would be easy for us also if we're going to be blessed with some fruits, so it is easy to pick up. So this one is emerging from within the wood that we have established. So at least we are settled that from the bottom of it, it already have coiled and it made its way towards here, and it is preparing itself to even coil to the other dimension. So another one that starts to coil, and it is going to appear. Gladly it will appear here. There is another squash here that we can call that a crossover squash, because supposedly the growth of this squash must be on the right side, but it wanted to cross over, so we have just allowed it. And just to provide a balance, because this one crosses over and this one is going upwardly, so in order to provide a balance, we just allow this to grow upwardly and the other one to cross over to the other space so that they will occupy. And another thing that is so interesting here, because if you're going to look, can you focus that one? Okay, if you're going to focus this one, there is a presence of young shoot in each and every level of the leaves of the squash. Can we observe if others also have the same? Yeah, this one. So this one also, there is another young shoot. So this is an indicator really that cell division is going on, and it is going to be blossoming in a manner in which it will really thicken the entire place. So we just have to be ready. Another thing, see, you will be able to observe that the leaves of the squash started to widen. This is what we have observed before. Before it was really very wide, but this time it has a limitation because we were not allowed to utilize the water that much. So even so, we are observing here that the squash, in fact, it is ready to become supreme, because at it reaches or almost reaches the summit here. So tomorrow really I need to buy new sets of ropes, and you can see here new vines, new young shoots here, and it is ready to spread through. And you can see also that the leaves are getting younger and lighter green in the first place, and later on as it develops and become mature, it will become darker green. Oh, here we are so gladdened to see young shoot here, another young shoot here, and the movement of the squash is really going to the other side. It inclined to the other side, and in that kind of manner, we are observing that when the squash is inclining towards the other side, there is a development of young shoot like this one. So I think this is the adaptation of the squash. Whenever it is going to recline, it seems that there is an interpretation wherein I need to supplement my vine with another young vine, so that there is a continuity in the growth and development. So this time, so this one is crossing over, and in here plenty of leaves, plenty of manufacture of food. So one thing that we really noticed here, from that corner and even up to this corner, there are plenty of vines having young shoots. So we are so happy to note that, because that simply means that the nutrients have been consumed in order that the vine, so healthy, it is going to just be producing a lot of young tender shoots, which would also mean we have a lot of potential fruits to expect on. It is going to become supreme also. Why I'm saying supreme? Because the the leaves are actually wide and there are plenty of young shoots. In here seems the development here is late. Yeah, but this one is recuperating. There are also young vines, young shoot here, sorry, and it is growing upwardly. And similar with this one, Yeah, it is growing upwardly also. So you can observe here that from the moment that it started to go up, there is already, I mean, a huge leap. So one thing that we did is that I tied it from the time that it's going to recline and the tendency to recline. I tied it, and fortunately we were able to manage, and by just tying it, it cooperated with us, and right now it almost reached the summit. So this one also, yeah, started to go up, and this one also started to thicken, and you can observe the glossiness of the leaves, and the the tenderness of the leaves. In fact, it is so inviting even to eat this, because this young shoot here is so inviting to eat, and I am craving to eat that, but this time it is still prohibited. So this time around, yeah, you can see that, you can see the growth and development here, and really the pole that we have established here really is beneficial for this. And look at this one, no? I think this is the first vine that provides a young shoot, and this is the most lengthier, I mean the lengthier vine so far, the secondary vine so far. And the direction of growth is actually sideways, and it seems that it's going to dominate here. So we're just going to be monitoring this so that we could have a balance as to where this vine is supposed to be directed at. But one thing that we can notice here, the thickening and then the widening of the leaves of the squash here, you can observe. And we did some kind of manipulation here, because the tendency of the squash, they have young shoot here, is that they are going to overshadow this one, or it will overshadow this one. So um, in order that this is going to be given the chance to be exposed to the sunlight, that I did some kind of manipulation. So I push it a little bit in the middle, and there is a rope there, so they are being realigned, this one. I say they because there are also other young vines here, and futuristically I am preparing this one so that um, they are going to be realigned to the proper direction, and thankfully it already coiled into the other rope. And this one, hi, hello. So don't be just be overshadowed by others. And oh, there is also young vine here. Wow, the growth and development really is so evident this time. Even this one, yeah, it already reached the summit. It is one of the squash that shows its supremacy towards the others. Aha. And there are plenty of young shoots here. Mhm. Okay, so this one also, you will be able to observe that from the day that I soak this in water, you'll really be observing a leap of growth. It is growing exponentially, and we're so happy to announce that it has been that good. This time it has been that good. The feeling really is so good to witness these squash really is, continuously growing, and it gives us really happiness and contentment, knowing that our labor really is not wasted here in toiling and in planting this squash here. in this side, I observed that the squash are really slender. um, my theory was these squash are not actually totally exposed to the sunlight, but as the time goes by, as it reached a certain height, like this one, it already reached a certain height, you are observing, and I am observing clearly here, that the shoot turns to be, um, although slender, but here you can observe that it is having the same patterns of growth to those other squash there that I saw when I soak it in water. So it means that it already reached a certain point where the distribution of sunlight has been received and equally distributed to this squash. And well, yeah, because there are young shoots here, you can see. So this is now the starting point. No, this is now the starting point of this squash to grow and grow and grow. Yeah, this one is also growing. Mm-hmm. You grow there. You have to go there, please. I told ya the other time. Okay, and this one, yeah, this one is supreme. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this one so far already is reaching the summit. Now it started to recline. So really tomorrow there's a need for me to buy ropes. So in this particular section seem to be like um taking their time, and they need to double their time so that they will be able to recover the growth and development. Perhaps the reason why the growth here has been stagnated because there is a competitor. There is sweet potato here, but I just allowed it to grow because I was so delighted to see the healthy vines of the sweet potato. So I keep it there. Anyway, the squash is supreme and it will grow. And this one also. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we really need to manipulate sometimes so that you will be able to have the equal distribution of sunlight and the exposure of this squash towards the sun and the nutrients. Yeah, so yes, please keep growing. And this one also, it reaches the summit, almost the summit. Aha. So nice to look at and so nice to witness this squash continuously growing and so healthy to look at. Wow, we can just say, we can just simply say, wow. So this one is actually struggling, but some try to recuperate, and perhaps the soil composition here is not that healthy. That's the reason why the growth and development got delayed, but we are still very hopeful that this squash is going to recuperate and it's going to recover, and it will grow. So similar with the other batches of the squash, right now this one really is recuperating, and it started to coil itself, and it positioned itself to grow upwardly. This one also, I saw here that it is positioning itself to grow upwardly. So this one also, and this one, okay, we have to manipulate it a little bit, okay, so that it will be directed upwardly. And this one, wow, although slender, but you can observe that it is growing upwardly. And that's what matters the most. They have to grow upwardly. So this one, recovery. This too is recovering. And this one. And this one too. And lastly this one.